Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with our second guest, and if you can see on the YouTube, Streets has already got a Cheshire cat smile. We have a gentleman of risk is the only way to describe this man. A gentleman of risk. The the fictional character I would compare you to, good sir, was that one geezer who was absolutely ironing the mountain, Oberon, the legend from Game of Thrones, right? You're talking about ex-pro English champ, undefeated bare knuckle legend, thriving OnlyFans performer. The
I mean, the
legend.
man doesn't need an intro, but what a fucking intro it is. We got to do it.
El Tornado, Tyler Goodjohn. How are you, my friend?
I'm very good. That was quite the intro.
Listen.
Well deserved, mate.
Yeah, you're good enough to come on the show. I'm good enough to give you a little fluffing. That's how we roll.
He's trying to get his second job launched there.
Yeah, it's all about them streams. First of all, congratulations on your new contract.
Yes, mate.
Massive.
Yeah.
You looking forward to it?
Yeah, no, it's going to be fun. Like, that's where, you'd be lying if, as a a combat sportsman, if you didn't want to, like, as a kid, if you didn't want to grow up and fight in the States.
Yeah, of course.
It's every child's dream. So I'm living out that dream now of going and fighting in America now. So
and on a big stage.
I couldn't be more confident. I feel like bare knuckle is my calling. Do you know what I mean? So I couldn't be any more confident that I'm going to go out there and do what I do out there. Well, do what I did here, basically. Be a star out there.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually on Ian's stag a couple of years ago. We came to BKB at the Indigo, right?
Yeah. And your fight against Navarro.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
so like, there's like me, him, and a friend of ours, Jesse. We're just like watching like this geezer's spellbinding. Like the gulf in skill between yourself and everyone else we saw on that card. We was just like, what's going on?
Yeah.
It's power.
And like, no disrespect to the bare knuckle boxers, but my experience previously had been back in Australia years ago, and it's kind of like, so, in the fucking fields and shit like that. And then that's kind of what I was like, oh, sweet, like I'm always up for watching a tear up and things like that. And then when you came on, I was like, holy fuck, look at this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, at the end of the day, like, boxing and bare knuckle are very, very different sports. Obviously I've done both. They're very, very different. But I'm bringing that element of, like, I'm doing things at bare knuckle that, top fighters are doing in glove. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm bringing the whole slips and hands down and everything else, and I don't think anyone's confident enough in bare knuckle to do that. So apart from me. You know
That's
what
what
your skills speak for yourself,
you,
because you look the way you do, and no disrespect, but most bare knuckle boxers look like bare knuckle boxers. You know what I mean? So like that head movement, boy, fuck no.
I have ended up quite well. I can be prone to getting into a tear up, so I don't mind a black eye. To be fair.
Mate, you're like we were saying as well too. I think even after that fight, I remember your hands, obviously, but even the swelling, and you barely, he barely laid a hand on you.
I mean, with bare knuckle, like, obviously,
it don't take much, man. Fucking hell.
You land two cleanest shots. It does, it's going to do damage.
Absolutely.
Which again, it's an interesting element to it, because it's if anything, like when I was a pro glove boxer, I was always known for being in fight of the night and just being in tear up after tear up all the time. Bare knuckle, I wasn't bothered about getting hit with a glove, as stupid as it sounds. I wasn't bothered. But bare knuckle, like, I can't even afford to be getting hit with a jab, because one jab, it's, it can split your face and then game over. That's the end of the fight. So it's actually like making me box a lot better than when I was glove boxing, which, again, it sounds silly. And I think all my trainers, if they were listening to this, would be like, God's sake, we were trying to get you to box all them years. Now you're doing this. You're actually doing the stuff that we were telling you to do. And I can totally see that in my performances. You know what I mean? So,
but I've heard you say like I mean, it's modern day gladiator shit. But you are the gladiator of the gladiator. You know, you've got that ethic where even back in the glove boxing days, because looking back, I was like, oh, fuck. When you were saying on the AJ Carter side, I remember that shit now. I just didn't put two and two together. And, you know, you're fucking there, always there for a tear up, always had the skills, but also you took challenges like...
I took hard fights. It was just, I mean, like, if anyone who knows boxing or is in professional boxing knows that, like, you're either in it or you're out of it. Do you know what I mean? There's no sort of thing. You're either that guy that the promoters care about and want you in them big fights, look after you, and you're earning money to sustain yourself. Do you know what I mean? Or you're taking fights away opponent fights. You know, you're basically going there to more or less lose. Obviously, I wasn't going there to lose, but you know, if you're going to follow the script, you're going there to lose. And that was the way it was, because, you know, I wasn't signed to a big promoter. I was down living on my own in a flat in Essex. You know, I had to pay my bills and stuff. You know, shout out to Essex. So yeah, no, I had to, I took a lot of hard fights when I perhaps didn't, but I feel like that's held me in good stead now. You know what I mean? It's toughened me up.
Yeah, for sure. How did you, because you got, like, normally people assign that, you know, it's not just the journey, but how did you end up on that end of things? Is it because of the promotion companies and that sort of stuff? Because you know, with the nurturing and stuff, fucking hell, you've got the skills, you got the look, you got the, you know,
personality, you got like, the chat, you got, you know, the, like, you know, you
the extra bits for anyone on OnlyFans.
Yeah, exactly. You were the standout at BKB, right? You're the star. You're the only one that I could personally name, and I love. Like, I'm a fight fan, but you know, the people that you fight, you kind of saw, but like you were the one.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming that's got to be the goal when you go stateside.
Yeah. I think a big thing with why I didn't perhaps shine as a professional boxer, at the end of the day, like, I couldn't have done half the stuff that I got away with in BKB, like in social media or in the fight.
Yeah, right, yeah, fair.
Boxer, let's face it, I got my license taken away from me from talking about using saunas and that. Do you know what I mean?
Shit,
but that's fucking ridiculous. Like, I think you even mentioned too, like, some of the bans they're handing out for steroids is like a 6-month ban, or eating meat, I should say. Yeah, fucking
like that Baby Miller or whatever. And like, on everything. On everything, he got like a 9-month ban or two.
He passed the pregnancy test, didn't he? He done everything.
Yeah, it's So basically, I feel like, you know, I always had the skill and the confidence and stuff like that. I'm boxing more. That, like I say, that's a given. But my personality is showing through as well. Because, like I say, you as a boxer, you've got to be so clean cut. And not at the end of the day. Like, I am what I am. Take it or leave me. Don't like me, don't like me. That's fair enough. But a lot of people are drawn to out there different characters, and my character is definitely comes out in better.
The thing is now is where things have gone so unbelievably far down, like what you were saying, the clean cut PC, you know, the side parting mafia. Them, when you get someone that's real, and you can tell that they're a laugh, and you can tell that they're a wild motherfucker, right? You know, it seems from everything that I've seen of you, you live the life that you want to live. Right.
Yeah,
and there's
something no there. You just that's in the DNA.
Absolutely. And there's something that resonates with most people when they see that happening, that they're like, fucking more power to him. I'm all about it. Yeah. Right. I don't really understand why
the flip
media...
side too. Yeah. I don't get the, like, people hating and shit. It's like, what the fuck you for a start, you would never say that face to face. Where's all this energy coming from when you're behind a keyboard on a fucking screen?
At the start of when I first started getting trolled and that, it was getting to me because I didn't know how to sort of combat it. Do you know what I mean? But like now, I've had so much of it. Literally, I get it on a daily basis throughout the day, and I just take it as a compliment because I don't. Yeah. Do you know? I click on the on their profile, and you know, without again, people can take it how they want what I'm going to say, but the majority of these troll people are like council estate, sat
Cabbages.
home, don't have a job, have 20 kids, have a terrible missus, like, and they're telling me how to live my life and criticising what I do, and I'm like, do you know what, mate? Like, not in a million years. Like, you would not be able to live my life for 5 minutes.
No, of course.
Do you know what I mean? So don't, you know, where do you get off trying to tell me what to do? So,
and they're the ones that you can actually click. Most of the time, it's like 0 posts, some fucking fake account, just in case. You know what I mean? It's like, shut the fuck up.
I get it all. And at the end of the day, if you can hold if you know your shit, do you know what I mean? If you know your stuff and you can hold an educated debate on fighting or whatever, I'll sit there and I'll debate with you. Because I appreciate you know your stuff and stuff like that. But when you're just throwing comments at me like just ridiculous stuff like at me, with no thought whatsoever, I just feel embarrassed for people. You know what I mean?
How much shit have you had from the newest venture, should we say?
To be fair, I mean, you know, everyone makes jokes and, you know, tongue-in-cheek kind of stuff, but, you know, to be fair, no one's really trolled me about it, to be honest. I get a lot of love for it, and
listen, there's nothing scarier.
I've got a massive gay fan base.
Yeah.
Who just absolutely love me, so, yeah, I get a lot of love, to be fair.
I mean, what's more terrifying than someone with a decent social media presence who will bash the fuck out of you, then probably run one through your missus on a live stream and get paid for it, right? No one wants that. No one wants to deal with that. That's a terrifying prospect.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's true.
I mean, we made a joke on the last podcast. Our next guest is going to be, we had Russ Amber on. We're like, it'll be kind of like following on from whoever had to fuck Jennifer Aniston after Brad Pitt. You're probably the guy that did fuck Jennifer Aniston after Brad Pitt. So.
Yeah. What I would describe you as guests go, right? When you have that stable long-term boyfriend and then you have the wild one. Where it's like, Dad, you don't understand him as an artist. I love him. Just respect it. And it's just the baddest boy.
I'm the guy. I am the exact guy that you don't want to take home to mum and dad.
I don't know about all that, son. I've got 2 little girls. I'd be thrilled to have the savage and the son-in-law. I don't want one of them. I mean, like, for me, it's like Savage, app developer.
Yeah, Poindexter. Nah.
You know what I mean? It's just like, at least you want to have a little bit of a laugh.
What's there on the cards? Sorry, Tyler. What's there on the cards? I saw something. Was it international boxing or so? Was you going to go back to? Was that gloved? I know it was in like. Was that in a cage or?
I mean, it was basically between what was called the ICB League and Bare Knuckle FC. So there was two promotions that obviously wanted to sign me, and you know, it sounded really good. It was basically boxing rules in a hexagon. You know, in a cage, like over like 10, 12 rounds, 3-minute rounds. So basically boxing. Yeah, so it would have been, you know, and actually they were talking about getting some good people in and stuff like that. But do you know what? Just my heart's with bare knuckle, and I just
would that have been with gloves on or MMA gloves, or what was the deal with that?
MMA gloves, yeah. So, but I just feel like my skills are in bare knuckle. I just feel like it suits me, and I just enjoy it more. Do you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, it's got me to where I am now. So, you know, why change it now? So, but perhaps, you know, who knows in the future? You know, it might be if it's going to be a big sport. I know it's a big sport. You know, I could go and try and have a hand at that as well.
I mean, I would have thought that, you know, I know it's growing big in the States, and like, you know, they're big names there. They've just signed Paige. They've signed yourself. They've got Hector Lombard. They've got Thiago Alves fighting this weekend. You know, there's like marquee names coming to it now.
Yeah.
And I just think that, I mean, they put on a good show. It's good commentary. It's a good production.
Yeah.
You know, no disrespect to BKB, but BKB is...
Yeah.
It's not the same.
Yeah. No, completely. I watched their last show a couple of times, like in the last couple of weeks, and the production of it, they're the only sport in the world that have even got an audience at the minute.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? They're doing massive things, and I just think jumping on board now and put my bit in. Who knows where it's going to be in a couple of years' time?
I mean, you versus Knight, fucking hell, that has got blockbuster written all over it. Jesus Christ.
Like, I mean, at the minute, I've sort of like the only obstacle for that fight is going to be weight, because since I've been doing CrossFit, I do CrossFit like every day, and I have gained a little bit of size. And the last fight was at 11 stone, but I did struggle to make 11 stone. So I might even be like sort of aiming at like 160, 11.5 stone sort of thing. I'm just gonna see how I feel at the weight really. But there's a guy who I know from Bare Knuckle FC, a guy called Jim Allers.
Yeah.
And he sort of spoke about me. He doesn't like me too much and stuff like that. And I watched his fight with my mate the other day, and I just think, do you know what? This is another Navarro fight all over. Do you know what I mean? The guy's tough. I'm not going to sit here and say the guy's not tough. He's not fit. He's not strong. He's not. But in terms of boxing skill, he's there for me to make him look silly, really. So that's definitely a fight that I want. At least down the line.
Have they said to you basically, we want you as you? You're not clipped. You're not restricted. Do what you want to do.
Yeah, basically. They're
perfect.
Like, I'm going to go over there and be the bad guy, and I
got to, ain't you got to just do it. Like, who cares?
When's the Page tape coming, mate?
Yeah.
I'm gonna. Yeah, that is. Well, is she married? Can you?
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, fuck, that'll put a damper on it.
Is she married?
I don't know.
She got a fella. Yeah, I don't know if
I'm telling you, right? Towards the middle of COVID, her and her fella were 100% minutes from opening an OnlyFans. They were doing all manner of madness naked on IG.
Yeah.
Be like away from splitting up, and then there was going to
be build you up and tear you down. Fuck it.
Fans. Well, that's one I'm not subscribing to.
Special guest.
Yeah. Obviously, as a massive performer, which one is more nerve wracking? Because obviously you're fighting or you're fucking. Either way, you're putting in a performance.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, like I'm more doing like at the minute. I mean, at the minute, I'm sort of just making my own stuff and with girls, with girls in the industry, who are obviously doing scenes and that. A lot of places, studios aren't open up and stuff, open up anyway and that. But yeah, I'm just like, I'm just happy to sort of go along and do what I'm doing. At the minute, I'm getting to have sex with very beautiful women and record it and basically just rub everyone's face in it.
It's a hard life, isn't it?
I mean, it sounds terrible, if I'm honest. It sounds rough. It sounds genuinely a hard life.
Money off it, so.
I mean, listen, rather you than me, yeah?
Like,
I've got the school drop tomorrow morning.
I might just get a camper van and go around America making my videos.
Oh. There you go, mate. GoPros everywhere.
See, me and Ian tried to open up an OnlyFans of just selling pictures of our feet, and the uptake has been minimal, right? So if you could give us any tips how to really get out there,
to give you a retweet.
Yeah, give us a retweet. Also for myself, like OnlyFans is not for me. Not only am I all wheels and no cannon, but I reckon I can knock out a film, right? I reckon I can knock out a film inside an Instagram story limit, right? So it's more about the sprint for me. Yeah, I'm not there to put on a show. I'm not there to give it the Patrick Bateman.
Yeah, and I am Patrick.
And I respect the shit.
There you go, on, son.
There it is. Are you? I mean, of the two, you got to pick. Which one you going down?
Oh, it's fighting all day long.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm forever a fighter. Do you know what I mean? I started when I was 10 years old. Like, that's what, like now, when, you know, I play this Playboy lifestyle and stuff like that. But as soon as I've got a date, I'm switched on, and you know, I know what needs to go down. I've been doing it nearly 20 years now. I know what needs to be done and what doesn't need to be done. So, yeah, no, and then just I go from like athlete, bang, right back to being a Playboy for a month or two, and get back in.
Where's the Versace robe? Get
athlete
that shit
debauch. Yeah.
So I just like to have that little switch up, and the main thing, keep yourself busy when you're not fighting. Really.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Devil makes work for idle hands. Training for bare knuckle, how different is it from gloved?
I mean, in terms of my fitness stuff, I just do CrossFit now. I do track running, but I'll just do CrossFit every day. I don't do any running really, like long distance running at all. Just them short burst rounds. Do you know what I mean? Just really quick, intense stuff for fitness. And I've just found it like my last fight, I literally was not out of breath at one point in that fight. Yeah. So it kind of makes me wish that I found CrossFit when I was a professional glove boxer, to be honest, because I just feel like I have won over my opponents by doing CrossFit. I just think it's great.
Nice.
Like I've had it today, and it's fantastic. But in terms of actual the boxing skills, I do pads in little MMA gloves,
right?
Stuff like that. But yeah, the sparring, obviously with big gloves and with head guards on, because the last thing I need is breaking anything or getting a cut before a fight or anything like that. And then obviously you go into the fight and you just hope for the best. You hope that your hands hold up, basically.
Do you do anything?
How long are they after the fight?
Oh my God, don't. Literally, I remember staying in it was a really plush hotel for the night of the fight. So I've come back and obviously I've drove up there. And both my hands are that swollen, I couldn't drive for another 2 days. So I had to stay there at the hotel for another, I could drive home because I just couldn't move my hands. I could not move my hands.
I've seen some of the pictures on IG, and they're like.
What I kept doing as well, I kept breaking my my index finger. I just kept on breaking it over and over again, like in the Lafferty fight, and then in the Navarro fight, and then it just wouldn't heal. So in the Sean George fight, I went into that fight with a broken finger anyway. So it was a bit of a nightmare. Yeah. So it was yeah.
I was just going to say, was there a weigh-in for that Lafferty fight?
Yeah, it was, but do you know what, right? Because obviously I'd just come back from I've been retired from boxing I don't know, nearly a year, I suppose. So I was fighting at 11 stone. So they were like, "Oh, we'll do the fight at 11.5 stone." So I was like, "All right, okay, I probably won't make 11.5 stone. I'll be like 11.4, 11.5." So I come in at 11.5, and he come in at 12 stone 1, and it was just like, right. What happens now? And then nothing. No, really. The fight, you're not backing out now, are you? But I was just like, is there not a weight limit? Are we just turning up at whatever we want to turn up at, basically? So yeah, but yeah, I won. But he does look big. When you look at that fight now, you can tell the weight difference. Do you know what I mean?
There's a bit in the first round where he was just unloading. I mean, you blocked it all, but fuck.
The real baptism of fire for a bare knuckle, because he was 2-0, he'd had 2-1-2, and mate, the guy is just the toughest guy on earth. Do you know what I mean? I got out afterwards and said to him, I was like, "God, mate, you are something else." And he went, "Look, mate, I've been because he was in Iraq for 9 years. He was like, I've been dodging bullets for the last 9 years. You think I'm bothered about this?" And I was just like, "Fair enough."
Well, is it more intense, bare knuckle? Is the consequence fit? Does it feel more? I mean, I'm personally an undefeated one bout white collar fighter, so obviously you and I can understand what we're going to talk to right now.
Do you know what? The biggest thing with bare knuckle, the pace is just mental. It's so quick, it's just crazy. But be honest, we've all had street fights or whatever. You know how quick they happen.
Yeah.
It's just the pace of it is just so quick. You just gotta when I come out for the Lafferty fight. I was sort of, my way of thinking was how I'd been in my pro glove fights. I sort of come out, got on with the end of my jab, was having a little look at what he was like, and he just come out like a steam train, and like it was like, wow, I've got to wake up here, or I'm going to get knocked out. Do you know what I mean? So that was going from being a bit of a slow starter. I was known as a slow starter in the pro glove game. Do you know what I mean? To having to just right, that's it. You got to land. Do you know what I mean? And go with it. So. But that's definitely the biggest thing. And then obviously your hands as well, like I say.
Is there a way for you to get a feel for the ring? Because that's what you're going to be in now, isn't it?
Yeah. And also, like, you know, another thing is that they actually do clinch boxing as well. So you can clinch and punch. So, you know, that's something that I'm going to have to you know, come to terms with. Be honest, like, I don't want to sound too disrespectful, but I've got the
be
best
disrespectful.
Hands. All right, I'm going to be disrespectful.
Yeah, fuck it.
I've got the best hands in BKFC, and I've not even had a fight from them yet. Do you know what I mean? They're like, you know, if they think that they're going to come in and clinch me, I'll hit them with 4 shots before they even know what's going on. That's so. You know, like I say, I've been watching a bit of BKFC lately. There's a few guys who, you know, like I say, they said a few things about me, and I've watched them, and I really don't see a problem in that.
It's wicked for you though, because they're pumping out your name, It's wicked. Like, let them do it. Fuck it. Go over there, you know, clean house.
Yeah, definitely. And they're just going to keep bringing in better fighters and better fighters. You know what I mean? And you know, that's not to say that, you know, these fights are going to be easy fights for me, because, you know, they, like I say, boxing, bare knuckle boxing is not like glove boxing. Do you know what I mean? So there are, you know, that's why they're having success, because, you know, you look at Lobov when he fought Malignaggi. Like, Malignaggi fought like it was a boxing match. Do you know what I mean? Like a glove match. He got on the end of his jab and he just thought he could jab his way to a win. And Lobov just rushed in, crude as he liked, but strong, tough, and done what he had to do to win at the end of the day, and Malignaggi didn't. So, you know.
I mean, it's much more of like an homage to the old school, isn't it? It's a lot longer with the mod. It's kind of like seeing the old school tenacity with the modern technique. It's really interesting to watch.
I think that bare knuckle is going to be huge. I think like the way it's going, the way bare knuckle FC are going at the minute, I think they're like, you know, they're like what UFC were years ago. You know what I mean? I think it's the end of the day. I'm a boxing fan. I'll always be a boxing fan, and I'll always appreciate good boxing skills. But, you know, the casual fight fan just wants to see knockouts, wants to see blood, and wants to see tear ups, and that's what bare knuckle provides at the end of the day. You know, if you appreciate boxing, you'll watch Mayweather, you know, dance around someone for 12 rounds. And I love that. I love Mayweather. I think he's sick. I think he's brilliant. But them guys out there just want to see someone get knocked out. They're not, you know, they don't want to tune in and see that. Do you know what I mean?
No.
When you were talking about the pace, I thought they were taking the piss when they announced it 7 rounds. Fucking hell. Imagine having a punch up on the street. They said, all right, you got 6 more rounds. What the fuck?
No, like my left hand, my jab hand just literally went like in the first round as well. I went back to the corner. It was just like a balloon. And like, you got another 6 rounds. It was particularly your jab as well, because you got to pump your jab out.
Yeah.
No matter, can't lead with a right hand. So that was difficult.
I mean, I think even the commentator said it, but it looked like you had gloves on.
It was painful. Like I say, it was sort of like when you're in there, you just obviously do it with the adrenaline that, and then when you went back to the corner, it was like almost like, you know, that adrenaline just come down a little bit. And then you were so in pain with your hands in the corner.
Next morning, that must have been fun.
You're back on your jab, getting out there.
How long did it take for you to get your stroke back when the hands have healed up? Because if your hands are all swollen and fucked up, pleasuring oneself is incredibly important, as we know.
You know what? I don't really have to. I just get girls to do it for me.
Yes. Yeah.
Gangster.
And again, finish it up with, and get paid for it.
And at work.
Oh, I'm at work.
Yeah, Yeah, no, it's all right.
Yeah. What's without being uncouth, is the money on the other side of the pond a lot better for you? Because I was reading today, like, you know, for a 12-week camp overall, before it, you know, it's good money to people to see it, but they don't see 12 weeks worth of work that's gone in there, plus, you know, tax, plus trainer fees, plus this and that. Is it a lot better?
Oh, it's a lot better. It's a lot better. They're also giving us like a monthly like wage.
Oh,
amazing.
Like that as well. So, and then obviously the sponsors are just a different league out there.
Yeah, of course they are.
I get up a lot. I've already got loads of sponsors and that interested and stuff like that. So, yeah, like for me, like, you know, an ordinary week, like a week like this week, I'm doing CrossFit 4 days a week. So, you know, that's nearly £200.
Yeah.
Boxing, that's my training, that's like another £100, and then all your food and all your travel. Yeah. You're easily spending £500 a week on training. Do you know? Easy, without, you know, really trying. That's like I say, this is me just ticking over at the minute.
Yeah.
When I was having to travel for sparring and go all over the place, stay in hotels and all that kind of stuff, you know, it starts getting, you know, mental. And like I say, like when I was a pro glove boxer, I was chief support to Anthony Joshua against Ricky Boylan, won the English. And I made $4,500 off that fight. And that was a 12-week training camp. Bearing in mind, you got manager taking 20% off it as well. You got to pay your cut team. You're perhaps walking away with like 2.5, $3,000, like, and you're like for 12 weeks work. Do you know what I mean? So,
yeah.
It's ridiculous.
It's a tough, it's proper tough. Are you going to be moving camp straight over to the States? No.
I like my training here, to be honest. Like I say, I like my CrossFit. Me and my trainer, just, you know, we're doing wicked things. I like my training there, and obviously my boxing trainer as well. I just think, like, do you know what? If I went over to America and I had to change my training and it was that little bit less because I was traveling about, I'd go into the fight thinking, I didn't train as hard as I did the fight before, and that would bother me. I like to go into every fight knowing that I couldn't have done any more, and I'm never nervous going into a fight because I couldn't have done any more. So if I don't win, it's not because I wasn't fit enough, I didn't train hard enough. It was because I'm good enough on the night, and you know that's something that you know you've got to live with, but I can live with.
Who was your like idol growing up?
There's two fighters who are just I love their styles. I mean, you know, as a kid, like, or well, I say automatically, like you just brought up Muhammad Ali, aren't you? Like that's the person who brings you to boxing. Like,
look at his face. Look at his little smile.
I genuinely cried when Muhammad Ali died. Do you know what I mean? That devastated me because, like, as a kid, he was the person you looked up to as a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
And wanted to be
tattooed.
Yeah, you wanted to be Muhammad Ali, didn't you? Like, he was charismatic, everything. He was just everything about him was great. And then, like, just like sort of growing up, like I like the blood and guts warriors like Arturo Gatti.
Yeah.
That guy is huge. Just like, love him. Do you know what I mean? Just you know, he gets knocked over, he gets back up, he knocks them over. That's what I admire, like, probably most. I just like them fighters who just leave it all in the ring. I think you just got to respect that. And then
you do.
On the switch side, I like James Toney. I just love him.
He's my favourite. He's always been my favourite. Like I joked to Streets the other day, like, as interviews go, he would definitely be the most fun. No one will know what he's saying. No. But yeah, like he's just like such a joy to watch.
Yeah.
My mate might be fighting on his cards in the States in a couple of months.
I'd do anything to meet him. I just think, like, as a professional glove boxer, I just remember, like, I bought every single fight he had, like, as a professional, had it all, and just watching it. And I just loved it. I just loved that style, just so slippery. Even when he got fat as.
Yeah, but still moved like a motherfucker, though.
He just moved, like, and you just like, I love it. And then you hear stories about, like, how when he was training, like where people are mostly like, you know, they're drinking bottles of water. He's drinking like full fat bottles of Coke and stuff.
Telling people it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Epic. Do you remember when he scammed the UFC out of $1 million?
What's that for?
That was just gang shit. Like, he literally just went, I'm going to go in. They're like, all right, you want to go in? He gave it all the hard sell. He's like, I want $1 million basic. They went, all right. Got dragged to the floor, done in 45 seconds.
Randy Couture, like 30 seconds.
I reckon you could get hold of him.
What's that?
I reckon you could get hold of him and get some like proper, because he's doing a load of stuff on Insta at the minute with that James the Beast Wilson.
Right.
Wilson.
Yeah.
I reckon you go over to Cali, mate. I reckon you swoon. He'll love that stuff. He's all about the savages.
Yeah.
He'll put some gloves on and he'll want to go with you.
And I'll end up, he'll end up smashing me out or something.
I think there's a considerable size difference at the minute.
I can imagine he boxer a bit as well. I bet he's stacked it on.
Yeah. Don't he still have a go though?
Oh God, yeah, of course, yeah.
Go, wouldn't you?
With the BKB especially, like, it's hard enough sparring, mates. Like, were you friends with Lafferty before? It looked like you guys were tight after the fight. Is that just out of respect from the fight, or did you know him from before?
No, I didn't know anyone in BKB. Do you know what I mean? It was like, he just one thing I will say about like BKB is, like, you know, that I just feel like, you know, it takes a certain person to be a professional glove boxer. It takes that elite to be a bare knuckle boxer. Do you know what I mean? That elite, or lunatic, whatever you want to call them. It just takes that bit more special person, and because we're all in that group together, I think we all respect each other. Do you know what I mean? We all know.
We all recognise real.
Yeah. We all know. Like, we might say stuff in the build up to a fight, but at the end of the day, there's that respect there. We just had it out bare knuckle, like, fair play. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and I like that. That's what I like, you know. So,
do you reckon the Sweeney fight will go ahead, like, over stateside if he gets signed, or not sure what's happening there?
I don't know. So I can't. You know, the thing is, at the end of the day, what these people, like, you know, I've had, you know, I get trolled, like I say, on a daily basis by people who haven't got a clue. And at the end of the day,
what though?
Just people who just want to hate on me because I'm doing different stuff. You know, at the end of the day, you just got to take it as a compliment. But a lot of the fighters, they'll be like, I'll get a lot of shit about, like, because, you know, I put, like, I've only had 3 fights. I come in the sport and I basically transformed it, you know, and they're like, no, you're not the best and all this and that. And they go, right, look, maybe I'm not the best because I've only had 3 fights. Maybe I'm not. But at the end of the day, the reason why your Jimmy Sweeneys and people like that aren't getting signed to go to America is because they haven't got any marketability. They're not got any personality. You can't sell these guys at the end of the day. And, like, that's, you know, again, the figures don't lie. You look on YouTube, my 3 fights are the top fights on BKB. One of them's had like 1.5 million views. The next, you know, Jimmy's fights have had 200,000 or 300,000 views. But that's
a big jump between 1.1 and 200 grand, isn't it?
Yeah.
And also, too, we had this conversation with Russ, and it's almost the reverse argument. It's the same with Lomachenko. The fact that the reason why he's so fucking good is because he's had so many less fights and made such an impact. So
like, you know, people. Yeah.
So I was just going to say, had you not been on that card, there's a high chance you probably, you know, maybe watch every now and then because they'd be interested. But it takes draws like that to be like, holy fuck, that's what makes the sport. You know, you need people like that. So
put it this way,
we
walked away from that event, and on the way home, I was Googling you, right? Because, you know, number one, you look different. I have definitely seen you fight as a gloved pro.
Yeah.
But you looked, you know, you wasn't that recognisable, and we were up by the bar, so it was a long way away. But you were the only one that I was fussed about, like, seeing who is this geezer. Right, it just shone through, and we was all like that, weren't we?
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
Yeah. I mean, Jesse had a silly little smile, bless him.
It's just like I say, I think, you know, you just gotta, you know, you got to separate yourself from just these barroom sluggers. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, and you got to show a bit of skill, a bit of class, and just a bit of charisma, innit? At the end of the day, and And you have got, if you're going to make it in the fight game, you have got to be the full package. You've got to do it. You have got to be able to do it all.
Yeah.
People want to see an interesting character outside the ring as much as they want to see an interesting character inside the ring, So
they definitely get that.
And like I said, right, what's more marketable than a sexy Viking Jesus? You know what I mean?
There you go.
There it is. I reckon if you got hold of like a couple of more of like the gloved pros and started doing that kind of weird, like, the promo crossover stuff.
Yeah.
It's going to blow you up big, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I think like at the end of the day, like even, a fight that I think's great a couple of years down the line, perhaps like Conor McGregor or something like that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like that's something that, like, if he's not doing UFC and BKFC really takes off to massive heights, he has spoke about doing bare knuckles. So, and he's got good hands, he's good stand up. I think he'd go for it. Imagine the press conference between me and him. I'd want to know what is going to go in the press conference in. Like, how's he going to be dressed? Because I've got to go one up.
I mean, the long short of it is you've either got to turn up naked with a crown and a belt, just cover it. Well, maybe just cover him, but just have the end poking out the bottom of the belt a little bit. Right.
Yeah.
Or you got to go full bespoke suit. Like there's no middle ground.
Monocle.
I'm thinking
no middle ground.
Yeah, like Diamante, pink, like all in one suit.
Yeah.
Like just I mean, it's no, it's definitely not a on the spare of the moment thing.
No, I mean, if you need to have a consultant for that, I'm more than happy to. I won't charge. I'm immediately seeing a pink lycra with the rig, but with the rig tucked up, just to let everyone know what you're working with, and probably some sort of like very sparkly knuckle rings that we can have people enchanté.
And then I'm going to have a midget hanging from my
Yeah. Are we spray painting them gold or not? Okay, rose gold. I like where you went there. The rose gold Mijet. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Okay.
Yeah, well, that's that dealt with.
Anyway. Yeah. That's the wardrobe done, isn't it?
Yeah, that's that.
Let's just have a word with Bare Knuckle FC about getting this done.
Yeah.
And I think,
that's the proposal.
Any idea when the first bout will be? Because they're kicking off this weekend, right? They got a show.
Yeah, they got
Friday.
Thiago Alves is fighting, and then I think they got a show every month. So I'm aiming to go and fight like November, December if I can.
Sweet.
Yeah, at the minute it's just obviously UK are still on the ban list, so it's just getting out there, which is a bit of a trouble at the minute. Because obviously I want to go out there for promo stuff and things like that anyway, and just get out there, get my profile out there. But obviously with this UK ban thing, it's a bit of a problem at the minute.
It's fucked everything, isn't it?
Yeah,
and it's continuing to. It just seems like they're just constantly up and down.
Yeah, it's just like like I say, I just feel like I totally sympathise with people that are vulnerable and that, but life's got to go on at the end of the day. Because where are we going to be in a year's time if not? Like, it's going to be like the world is just.
You can't press pause on the world, right?
No, you can't. No, it has to just go on. Like, but
yeah. But I mean, like, it's. I mean, well, all three of us. I mean, you're like, fitness and then the others. But for like I was saying to you earlier, like me and Streets, like it for the first couple of weeks, it was all right. You're having a little bit of time to yourself. You're chilling a little bit, and then that sort of reality of it's been 2 weeks now and nothing's going on, and I've earned zero. Yeah. And none of the clients really want to do this over Zoom because it's weird, and you feel a little bit like a web girl. Well, I do anyway. And it's just a very different
vibe.
You're
always getting your tits out, mate. That's why.
Yeah, what? What about it? Trying to make that cash. It's just a really weird vibe. And if, like you said, with your gym, like and the boot camp, it's just a nightmare, right? And it's almost like you wonder at what point do people start doing the bootleg moonshine fitness classes, Because
Yeah.
there's only so long before people are like, fuck it. I'm just like,
yeah.
I'm going to get the Wuhan Wheezer and who cares?
I'm a big thing on mental health as well. I'm a massive believer, because I struggle myself and that, and like without training, I wouldn't want to know where I am. Do you know what I mean? So I think like being cooped up indoors all the time is no better for you for going out and training. All right, okay, restrict yourself 2 meters distance or a mask or whatever you want, but you've got to be going out. You've got to be training because it just isn't healthy for you.
With the mental health stuff, is it more like anxiety driven for you?
No, I've just had a lot of things that happen in my life, and just like
it all comes up
with things, and like I've to be honest, like my life at the minute is madness, and it looks really fun and everything else.
Got to be stressful, right? You're juggling.
Yeah, I am, and I'm going through at the minute. I'm fighting to see my kids. I've got 2 kids, so I'm going through court battle for that at the minute, and do you know what I mean? So it's like it's stressful, and then obviously my business have had to close that because of this COVID thing. So it's like I say, it's without training, I wouldn't like to say where I'd be, to be fair.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's why, like, as well, I sort of think, these troll people, they troll people without knowing actually what's going on in their life. And people have got problems and stuff like that, and they're trolling these people, and, who knows, I know that I'm a strong enough person to just bat it off, but, there'll be a lot of people out there, who, I had a girl today who's in the industry, and she got trolled today, and she's asking me for advice, and I just said, look, the best way you can do is just take it as a compliment that they're bothered about you, and that they hate their life that much that they've got to try and criticize yours at the end of the day, because if you argue with it and everything else and let it bother you, it will just take over you. So but going back to what I was saying, these trolls don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing to people. So,
but then that's always a reflection of themselves, right? They always want. Do you know what? Most of the time, I reckon if you got trolled and you DM them or could like Insta video chat them and just say like, "What do you want to say to me?" I think most of the time they would, number one, shit themselves. Number two, they would just be stunned that you're even acknowledging them. Yeah. And that's all that they're doing. They're just trying to get that.
Well, it's also too, like, I think it's so true. No one ever gets trolled by someone doing better than them. It's always people that are fucking miserable.
Except Dana White. He likes it.
It's a thing. Like, I've been getting trolled a lot lately. And like I say, it's happened that much to me now that I can totally bat it off. But you can see how it would affect people, like, because
absolutely, like kids. Right, I'm 38, Ian's 38 and some change. I think you 28, 29?
Yeah, 29. Yeah.
Yeah. So like for me, when I ended school, which we all go through stuff at school, it was done. Like for the kids now, it's on Gram, it's on TikTok, it's on. I don't think they use Facebook anymore. It's on. Name the app. It just never ever stops. And because there's no interaction, even like this. There's no social cues. You don't see that when I've just left a shitty message to someone, which, to be fair, I've never done, because imagine seeing something that someone's put up and going like, I need to let them know that they're shit. Like you'll have a little bit of a joke, and some of the
you don't even have the time to speak to the people you want to speak to. Let alone, these people have too much fucking time to hate.
Well, people. Like I got the reason why I'm banned from Facebook is because I literally stopped going on Facebook about, I don't know, a few months back, because it was just so toxic. I just couldn't control it anymore. And then I went back on there for a couple of days, and then just got non-stop like trolling, and then so I deleted it again. And then about a couple of weeks later, I wanted to announce my obviously signing to the BKSC, so I went back on it, and just some guy started trolling me, so I basically put to him, I just went, he was trying to tell me something that I'd done or something. I put what I'd done, and I just went, look, fuck off, you hillbilly, like that. And then I've been banned for 30 days on Facebook. And you're
And
like,
the problem is,
he trolled me.
Yeah, what about what he said?
Yeah.
So this guy must have reported me to get me banned. Do you know what I mean? But I'm just like, mate, like, have some bollocks about you. Like, you can report me for telling you to fuck off, but you're the one that's trolling me. Like,
and that's the fucked up thing, right? Because someone in the public eye like yourself, you need social media as a tool.
It
is a tool, right? Mm-hmm. So there needs to be some sort of, there almost needs to be a level of protection for people that are in the public, because imagine what abuse like a Rita Ora gets.
Yeah, exactly. I said, like, to my mates now, I said, like, on the level I'm at now, like, what top big celebrities must have to go through. And to be fair, I have seen it a bit on the TV, like documentaries where people are like wishing people to die and all that kind of stuff. And you're just like, at what point in your life would you wish for someone to die who you don't know at all? You literally don't know nothing about them. Like, some strange people out there.
I think the problem is like you said, that you're the only insight that people see for you in your personal life is the fun stuff, right? It's you going out in the Versace robe, having a good life, having a laugh, living that. They don't see what you had to do to get that Versace robe. They don't see all of the bits going on behind it for you to get to wherever you're at on your other endeavors, right?
Well,
all they see is the end result.
He's like, people always say they want my life, and he's like, they'd fucking cry if they had to do what I went. You know?
Yeah, not in a million years. People couldn't live for 5 minutes, like, in my life. Not for a minute. Do you know what I mean? This I don't think they could even do a minute of it. Like, I'm literally like, but at the end of the day, I'm that person. Like, if you want to do something, like, I'll support you and or whatever. Like, if someone writes something on social media, no matter how ridiculous to me it is, and I don't think they can do it or whatever, I'm that guy who's going, do you know what? Go for it. Do it. Do you know what I mean?
All you can do is try, right?
Yeah. And I'm totally behind it. But then it just seems like 90% of people out there are just so, like, just don't want to see you do well. Whereas, like I say, if someone does well, I'm the first person to congratulate them, because a lot of hard work's obviously gone into it, and I can appreciate that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but then like 90% of people aren't happy. 90% of people are all they. I tell you what, 90% of people would love 10% of the fun of your life, right?
Yeah,
that would be. Yeah. I mean, you got people like they'll see stuff like what Streets does. Yeah. And they're like, that looks cool. That's what I want. But they don't see him getting up at 4 a.m, getting on his push bike and going to the client, They don't see me pulling what's left of my fucking hair out. The 4-year-old and the 6-year-old have just gone mental that a sweetie's been taken or whatever. It's miserable.
Yeah. No, that's real.
We talk about what you actually said to get your license taken away or not.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Yeah, so I was doing like a podcast for, I think it was like Fight Talk or something it was called, and I just basically said about how the last fight at 10 stone, I fought John Wayne Hibbert on Sky, and I had to end up losing like 18 pounds in the last week. Right. It was just a bit of an old story. It was just like, just chatting about it and stuff like that. I no way like trying to glamorize it. I just went, and then I got in the ring and felt like a bag of shit and boxed like a bag of shit. Anyway, so there was no thingy, but just said obviously I use saunas, salt baths, not eating, drinking and stuff like that, all that kind of rubbish. And then a week later.
That's your choice, though. No, that's not against any rules. That's not.
No, I think it's not ideal. It's part of the parcel. It's like fucking.
It's how you're going to make it there. Like, what do they want from you?
Yeah, I mean, it's it's
you're not telling school kids.
Yeah, do you know what it is, right? Everyone knows it goes on, because that was exactly what everyone was saying to me. But they don't want you to talk about it. At the end of the day, what they don't want to happen, the boxing board, is like another Michael Watson turnout. Do you know what I mean? They don't want something like that to happen, because then they'll have to pay out and all that. So what they're trying to do is, like I say, they know it goes on, but they just don't want you talking about it. you know, and unfortunately at the time I done that interview, I think it got released like a week after I'd done it, and that Scott Westgarth had died in between. So to me, they wanted to use me as an example, and just ban me. Do you know what I mean? So,
it's a bit dark, isn't it?
Be honest, at that point in my career, I was pretty much done with boxing anyway. I'd more or less made my mind up I was going to quit. It was just, I had too many people taking the piss out of me, trying to make money out of me, and just didn't have my best interests at the end of the day. And so it sort of made my decision for me, really. I just remember ringing the boxing board up, and they said that if I wanted to try and get my license back, I'd have to take a solicitor with me. And I went, you know what, I'm retired, I'm done. See you later.
It's quite a dark sport, isn't it?
Mate, fucking hell.
Yeah.
Well, it is when you think, like, I was known for being in Fight of the Night. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Small hall shows up to being at the O2. You know, I was known for being in Fight of the Night, and I even now, I really appreciate like my glove boxing fans from back in the day who messaged me like, I loved you as a pro boxer. You're always in good fights. Do you know what I mean? And when you think about, like, I put my life on the line for the boxing board, really, they're making money out of it for promoters.
Yeah,
for
what
the
do they get?
fans,
3%, isn't it?
Yeah, you know, like at the end of the day, I'm bringing that to boxing.
Yeah.
And for them to just ban me and be like, do you know what? Yeah, we don't need you that much. It just, I just felt disrespected, and it just sort of, just the boxing. The British boxing board are like the mafia. Do you know what I mean? It's just, they got their views, and what at the end of the day, we'll bend rules for other people, but we'll, not for much for
that makes it even worse, because like I said, you've put in the fucking yards. You're doing the
yeah, for sure. But it's like any business, I suppose. At the end of the day, it's about money, isn't it? And like I say, I think they just sort of see me as a bit of an example that actually, no one can be talking about this. But exactly, it's totally backfired now, because what I've always said to my family and everything, like, I want to use my fame in bare knuckle boxing to expose so many people, like do interviews where people, get to that level where people will watch me, listen to, respect what I'm going to say, because pro glove boxing is disgusting. Like it's disgusting. It's disgusting. It really is. I don't watch it all anymore because I can't watch it. I just can't watch it. It just doesn't interest me at all. It just like, because I've been there and I've done it, and when I turned pro when I was 18, and I, you go in there with your eyes wide open, all like, like this is all glamorous, and starstruck by it all. But after being like a pro for like 7 years, I was like, do you know what? This game's so shit, so corrupt, and just I can't have it. I just don't want. I've had people saying about my gym, "Oh, would you train pro fighters?" And I said, "I'll never go back to that pro glove game ever. Not even as a trainer, not even as a And it sounds horrible, but not even as a fan. You'll be very lucky to catch me at a show. Fortunately,
I mean, a mate of mine and Ian knows him quite well as well. I mean, he tells me some stuff about what he has to go through, and he's one of the biggest members of the Who Needs Them club that I think the UK's ever had, right? He's not blacklisted, but the one opportunity that he had on a big stage, they even like nicked his intro music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like little things like that. They nicked his intro music, they robbed him blind. Like, it's just a dark sport sometimes, unless you're with the chosen, and then it's just like,
like, here's a little story for you, right? And this shocks people to it, like, and this makes you realise what boxing's all about. So, I was boxing. I'm not going to say any names and that. Yeah. I was boxing on the biggest promotion in this country, right? And I was up at the MEN Arena. I fought Tyrone Nurse. At the time, I'd only had 10 fights. Tyrone Nurse was mandatory for the English title for a year and a half, but no one wanted to fight him, so he couldn't fight for the title, right?
He was like 28-1 at that time, wasn't he, or something?
He was like 28-1. Like no one wanted to fight him. And I remember being in the Range Rover, my manager's Range Rover. I literally got the phone call. Boom. Do you want to fight Tyrone Nurse? He asked me. I went yes. Bang. Done. Like that. I took that fight in the 10th fight, and it was a hell of a fight. It was a hell of a fight, but he was just better than me. Do you know what I mean? He was better than me on the night. Anyway, I bust my rib. I fractured my nose. Both my eyes were swollen over. I've got the picture. I'll have to show you. Anyway, I got out of the ring, went back to the changing rooms, and the ringside doctors obviously come in to check you and just said, look, do you know what? You've got to go straight to hospital. You've got really bad head injuries. Both your eyes are over. And literally, the promotion were just like, right, there's a taxi rank outside. I had to. I swear to you, with every part of me, I've had to get my mum and dad like by the shoulder like that, around the neck, and they've had to escort me through the entrance of the MEN and go out to the taxi rank and get myself a taxi.
Fuck off.
Spent the night in hospital, and I just boxed on Sky Sports about 45 minutes before on Sky Sports in front of about 10,000 people, and now
fuck.
Taking myself to hospital in a taxi.
Did they pay for the taxi?
Disgusting.
Of course not. Of course not.
Nah, so it's there. At the end of the day, no one cares about you when you lose. You know what I mean? No one cares about a loser. If I'd won, I'm sure they probably would have got me. And the funny thing was, I was in the hotel. I got a lift by the promotions like vehicle to take escort. Yeah, so I got a lift there, but I couldn't get a lift home.
That's disgusting.
It's even like needing scans before a fight, but they don't do a follow-up one to see what happened to you in the. They don't give a fuck. Once you've done your job, it's like that's it.
It's a very dark sport, and I sort of I feel sorry for fighters who were like me when I was like 18, who were like like I say, your eyes, you're all you're hoping for is that professional boxing is going to be everything you think to be, and it's not. It's far from it. And the trouble is, like I say, you're going to get a lot of prospects who are going to get chewed up and spat out, and aren't going to be as lucky as me to then find something where, finally I am shining now and getting the appreciation that I should have got years ago as a boxer. But then again, it's made me who I am. And I feel like that journey has made me tough. Because I've been through a lot, and and a lot of adversity at the end of the day. And that's what makes you a better fighter. That's what makes you a stronger fighter.
Now you have an opportunity to not only be the face, the star, the international star as well of a burgeoning new league, new sport. But you kind of have to do it where it's so fresh now that you don't have all of the old school shit that goes with glove boxing. It's just an amazing opportunity. We were buzzing when we saw the Union Jack with the silhouette. We're like,
the silhouette. It's like, we know who that is.
Yeah. And then when it got announced, we was like, boom. We've met that guy.
Sweet. I mean, it's everything that I want. I want to still be fighting. I just, at the end of the day, like we're fighting. I just want to be treated with a bit of respect, and that's something that I don't going on in pro glove boxing. I just don't think the fighters just aren't getting the respect from the promotions and that they deserve, and that's
But the thing is, there can't be a pool of that many fighters that they can use.
What's that
in gloved, right? I know there's way more in glove than there is in bare knuckle, but there can't be like that many. I'm sure there's a list that they go down, and this one says no, this one says no, this one says no. But in the go on.
Yeah, sorry. Professional glove boxing can be summed up in one thing. At the end of the day, like the fighters need the promoter more than the promoter needs the fighter. You know what I mean? And as long as that is like that, promoters can just do what they want, can't they? At the end of the day, like I remember taking fight, like again that Tyrone Nurse fight. I've took the fight on live on Sky, absolute war of a fight, and I've got made $4,000 out of it. Do you know what I mean? And I've got 2 swollen over eyes. I've got a fractured nose. However that promotion must have made off it, you know, being on Sky and everything else. And you think, I've just walked away with $4,000. Do you know what I mean?
It's not much.
Yeah,
it's not much, and it's not worth the damage and the you know.
If you get into boxing for money, you're in it for the wrong reasons, because you're not. Unless you're the top, I don't know, 5%, you're not. You know, you're not going to retire off boxing money. Do you know what I mean? So,
you used to train with the Sims boys, didn't you?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So was you there at the same time as like Kevin Mitchell and?
Yeah, me and Kevin are good friends. We sparred hundreds of rounds. Yeah, I really rate Kevin. I think it's a travesty that he didn't win a world.
What I was about to say, he's got to be one of the best British talents to not win, and he was so unlucky not to.
Kevin's without a doubt the best fighter I've sparred with. Technically, do you know what I mean? Sorry, it's got a phone on charge. Technically, like, just a great fighter. He'd do things that, like, you know, where he's a world level boxer, he's just that step ahead of you. Do things that you weren't thinking about. Do you know what I mean? And that was amazing. I love that. Like, I always said, like, the difference between like a British level fighter and a world level fighter is that if you make a mistake with a British level fighter, you may get away with it. With a world level, you won't get away with it. Yeah. Like, if you make a mistake, they'll make you pay, and makes you appreciate it. When you watch boxing, you're just like, you know, when two professional fighters are very cagey in the opening round and people find it boring, you're like, because one mistake, it could all be over in the first round. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. That's boxing.
Who's the best one you've been in with overall of your entire career, sparring, you know, even a scrap down the pub, whatever? Like, who's the one that you've just walked away and gone, that geezer was an animal?
I've had sparred loads and loads of people, but like, do you know what? I just, like I say, like, the level, I sparred loads of world champions, and you just get to, like, they just do stuff that, like I say, they're just one step ahead of you. They're planted a trap that you can't see. Do you know what I mean? And it's just great, and it makes you, like I say, it makes you appreciate, like, in a world title fight, like, when, you know, realistically, you know, you don't know nothing about, you know, the way that the guy you're fighting is going to fight. Boxing's a real science. Do you know what I mean? And like I say, like, people like Kevin Mitchell, like people like Darren Barker.
Powerful Darren.
Yeah, like, you know, just, you know, world level fighters. Darren, a world champion. John, like, people like John Ryder, Lee Purdy. I was just like, we used to have, like, I'd be sparring like 3 days a week. I'd be sparring like Ricky Burns, John Ryder, Lee Purdy, Darren Barker, Kevin Mitchell, Martin Ward. I sparred like Conor Benn and you know, people like that.
I was always amazed that Burns could make lightweight. I know he went up to one, but he's massive.
Crazy. He was that guy. Like, it's funny because I wouldn't say, like, with all the world champions that I've sparred, like, technically he's world level. Do you know what I mean? Like, but the guy is, like, the way the guy trains is incredible. He's by far the hardest trainer I've ever seen in my life, and he just wants it so much more than everyone else, and that's why he's world champion at the end of the day. That's why he beat Kevin Mitchell when they fought, because then when Ricky come down to our gym, they used to spar, and to be fair, Kevin used to, you know, tap Ricky about a bit in sparring. You thought, well, how did he get knocked out? And it was just because Ricky wanted it more than Kevin at the end of the day, and that's
mad, isn't it?
That's what it come down to.
Yeah. I loved Kevin because he would always be shouting out about pie mash. He would always have a big boy flat cap on. Like, he's my peeps. He is.
I've had some funny nights out of him as well.
I bet you have. He was actually there the night that we saw you fight.
He was at the BKB. Yeah. He's he loves a night out.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've got some really good friends in boxing, like real good friends. You know what I mean? And this, that is one thing. Like I say, you do, you know, you all get that respect. That's one thing that I miss. Like now, I'm not at a pro boxing gym. Like I miss the, you know, like the camaraderie we had. Like I remember Darren Barker, done me and Lee Purdy were sparring, and like we got like dentist fit gum shields.
Right.
So you can only get them out by sort of like clicking them at the back using your hands. So we're sparring. I've got me and Purdy have both got our gloves on. We've both got all like our you know, done up with tape and head guards and everything like that. And then Darren's put our mouth guard in, and what he's done is he's gone and got like ordered them like chili extract, like, you know, like the hottest stuff you could get. And he's laced it all in our gum shield, gone bang into our mouth like that, and then obviously we can't get it out of our mouth because we've got gloves on. We're like rolling around the canvas and all that. It was mental. Yeah. So we're just
cheers,
like
Darren.
yeah, thanks, Darren. I tried to get him back with garlic puree in his shampoo, but he found out. Like, well, I say he found out. He put it on his hand. It stunk like garlic. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, and then he put Tiger Balm in my fresh pair of boxers. Then, so
that's bad times, mate.
Yeah,
that's bad times.
No, it was good. It was just like you had a laugh and everything else, and because like although you obviously trained 110%, you have to have. It's important to have a laugh and that as well.
Yeah.
Or you just end up hating it. So,
is any of them boys a patron of your OnlyFans? Or do they just get shady WhatsApps?
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know. It could be. It could be under a fake
names, isn't it?
Could be
anonymous.
And so, do you have a star in mind to work with when you go stateside? You got like, do you reckon you'll be with a studio or something, or keep doing your own thing?
Yeah, I don't mind doing that. Yeah, like sort of like I'm just gonna say, like I say, for me, like now, you know. I like I say, I've been in this game long enough. I know that the fighting has to come first. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's at the end of the day, that's what I want. That's what I want to achieve in my life, because I put too much work in for it to let it go. So that, you know, the whole adult stuff can come in between or after or whatever. But I know that as soon as this fight date's announced, I've got to get my head down and do what do what I do best, and that's work hard.
Do you do the old school abstain?
No, I don't. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to.
You're not multiple session a day, but you're also not saying no.
I just won't be out like banging like 2 birds in a day or anything. You know what I mean? Might just have like a day off in between.
Fair. Rest is very, very important.
Yeah, well, right? Rest is as important as training.
Yeah, or juicing.
Or banging.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
I've got nothing else. That was wicked. Streets.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
Mate, thank you so much for your time. It's such an honour to have you on.
Yeah. I'll come back on. Like,
we'd love to have you back on.
Yeah, like before the next fight or whatever. Yeah. Like, I'll come back on and we can talk about training or whatever and talk bollocks, because if you hadn't noticed, I can just talk.
Fucking love it, mate.
Likewise. Maybe we'll do one when you're like mid camp.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
All right, Tyler. Geezer, the best.
Thank you so much, mate.
Thank you so much, man.
All right, well, take care of yourself, guys.
Wicked, mate. Thank you.
See you later on. Bye-bye.
Bye.